Hello, guys. Welcome to another episode of the E-commerce Lab by Ecomcy, the place of everything related to Amazon, FBA, and e-commerce. My name is Vincenzo Toscano, founder and CEO of Ecomcy, and today we bring a very interesting topic, which is everything that has to do with selling Walmart. We know Walmart is being growing a lot lately, and everybody's talking about Walmart. Is the next Amazon? We should be jumping into that. And what better person actually than Carrie Miller, who is one of the brand evangelists here in time. She specializes on everything that has to do with Walmart and can't wait to hear all the tips and strategies she has to share with us today. So thank you for coming, Carrie. How you doing?
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. I mean, I've been following your content for a while now, everything that has to do with Walmart. And a lot of the things I actually learned around Walmart was from you. So thank you for that.
Oh, good.
And I think it's a pleasure to have you here. I mean, the audience and from the feedback we're getting, people is always asking Walmart, when should we jump into Walmart? Is that the next Amazon, as I just say? It would be awesome to talk about that today. But
Yeah,
before
definitely.
we talk about that, I usually like to give a couple of minutes, to learn about the person that is coming to the show, just a little bit about your background, how you actually end up learning about selling on Walmart. Yeah, let's start with that.
Well, I actually have been selling on, let's see, I started selling on Amazon like 2016-ish timeframe. So my dad and I actually took over a company that was failing and
Hmm.
or he really took it over. And then I was kind of like not really excited with my job. So I saw, yeah. So I was like,
Yeah.
this is an opportunity to kind of help out here. So they were only selling about $200 a month on Amazon, like, and they were doing it through Vendor Central. So I was like, I'm sure I can help sell more than that,
Yeah. At
So
least $50 or something.
yeah. So I went ahead and I was like, I just went on YouTube and I was actually also like a dog sitter and I was in these like
Oh, okay.
mansions and they had these theaters. And so this one that particular I was at, they had like a full on theater and I would just like watch YouTube videos over and
Wow.
over, learning how to sell on
VIP.
Amazon. So yeah, so it was pretty. I learned how to do that. I learned how to set up all of our listings, and then I actually became a freelancer, and I started writing listings and optimizing listings for small sellers, like sellers just starting out, all the way to sellers that were selling 2 million a month on Amazon,
Mhm.
and some agencies as well. So I worked quite a bit with that, and so anyway, I've all through that time I've been selling on Amazon as well, and that's been growing. And I created a Shopify site, and then about a year and a half ago I started selling on Walmart. So um, I've been, kind of seeing all the changes over the last year and definitely have had a lot of good experience with Walmart. And so, yeah, I'm excited to talk more about the Walmart experience today.
Wow, that's good. What a journey. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, most of the time, yeah, people usually land on Amazon by, by mistake. Maybe a friend tell us exploring, and that, and yeah, it's great to hear that. But now yeah, as you said, let's start jumping to the Walmart topic, which, to be honest, is something that, yeah, it's very hot right now. In terms, everybody's is talking about that. Everybody wants to get started in the Walmart, and I think let's start with that as the first question of the day. It's like, when is Walmart the right marketplace for you? Like, when you should make the decision if actually jump into Walmart or not? Yeah.
I mean, it's really up to each individual seller, but I wouldn't say it's for beginners. So I
Okay.
would say if you're at least selling for a year and you have, good amount of sales and you've figured out stuff on Amazon,
Hmm.
I would say that's a good time to move. And you can decide whether or not you want to take, all of your products or, just some of them. I would recommend focusing on your best sellers and optimizing
Okay.
them first on Walmart. But
Okay.
yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people ask, like, when should I do it? And I really think it's just when you're more of an established brand, because they do want
Mm,
established brands on Walmart.
I
Once
see.
you're more established, then and you've got, you understand e-commerce a bit more, then I would say to jump over to Walmart. And it's a great time to do that because there's
Yeah.
very little competition. So
100%. Awesome.
yeah.
And when it comes for those people that maybe they're ready, they've been selling for a while now, and they definitely want to jump into Walmart. Can you maybe touch a little bit of what is the criteria? What do I need to have? And
Yeah.
how long does it usually take, to get approved and all of that? Yeah.
So it's actually recently changed. So before it was really kind of, it took a while, or, some people get, wait months and not hear back at all. So they've actually changed the process so it's a little bit more streamlined. So when you apply, you're accepted automatically to like the portal, but then they review your business information. So you have to put in your business information like your tax IDs and your EIN, and you also need to, just show that you are, good at customer service. Like I actually don't know that they have this part on their actual application part, but they're looking for sellers who have a history of good customer service. So if you have really bad reviews on your seller rating,
Trustpilot or all of that,
yeah. So I would recommend making sure you get those reviews up, before you apply to Walmart. But those are kind of the main things. Is they want established brands, and but they have said, because we were just at Sell and Scale, and Walmart was there, and they did say they're trying to open it up more. But they still want those more established brands. They want to see that you have good customer service. They want to see that you can provide reliable and fast shipment. So that's either through a third-party logistics. It could be your own warehouse, or it could be Walmart fulfillment services. So yeah, there's, a bunch of different ways that you can do that now. Whereas before, if you didn't have a warehouse in the US, you wouldn't be able to be accepted. So they're opening up a little bit more. I've been asking a lot of people, how their experience is. So as time goes on, I'll have probably more information on the new process, but it seems like it's a little bit easier. You get in there, and then they kind of vet you after that. And then you can set up your account. So.
Okay, interesting. Yeah. And now let's talk about a little bit about the challenges. I mean, what are some of the main challenges you people see having when doing the jump from Amazon to Walmart? Because I bet a lot of people, maybe what they're doing is just copying the listing from Amazon to Walmart and not doing any adaptation to the platform. So what are some of those things you're seeing right now that people are struggling?
I would say the biggest thing is they'll just copy their listing over from Amazon to Walmart, and then they're like, why am I not selling? And I'm like, well, there is a whole listing quality score that they have, and they actually tell you exactly what they want you to fix. So you can go in and fix your content. You can fix your pricing, your shipment, all that kind of stuff. They tell you why your score would be low. And so if your score is low, you're not going to rank, you're not going to show up as much for pay-per-click advertising. So you really need to work on getting your content structured the way that Walmart wants it structured. So that's a big one. Then I ask, so are you advertising on Walmart if they've done all the optimization? And they're like, no. And I'm like, okay, well, that's probably part of it too, because it's just kind of mind blowing that anyone who is an Amazon seller would never approach the Amazon selling and be like, oh, I'm just going to put it on Amazon and hope for the best. Yeah, that never happens on Amazon. So it's the same with Walmart. You can't do that. You've got to learn a little bit of the differences. It's not very difficult. I actually have outlined it on our Freedom Ticket Extra, or sorry, not Freedom Ticket Extra, it's Freedom Ticket Walmart. It's when you log into Helium 10, you just click on the training, and you can get into Freedom Ticket Walmart. And I go through in the details of how to set up your listing and all that stuff. So I would say that's a big part of what people, they don't try to understand it. And it's, as an e-commerce seller, it's not hard to figure out. It's just different, so you just have to kind of get used to the differences and then implement them. So, people maybe just don't want to take the time, but it's really not that much. You can do Amazon, you can 100% do Walmart.
Yeah, so, for sure. Yeah. And you touched on something very interesting, which is ranking.
Yes.
And I would like to understand what is the main difference between Amazon and Walmart in terms of ranking, because we all know that Amazon is all around sales velocity. I'm getting sales through the specific keywords. So is that the same happening in Walmart, or will you say there are other things that also take in consideration when it comes to organic ranking?
Yeah. So the first thing is you need to make sure you have your listing quality score at a high. A lot of people say 90% and above, especially the content piece. You need to make sure that your content is getting a high score. But then also conversions, just like any other site, your conversions are going to affect your ranking. So if you're not converting on those keywords, then you're not going to be ranking for those. So those are kind of the main things, ad clicks and adds to carts, all those really factor into the ranking. But focusing on what you can do is, the listing optimization, and then getting those conversions, making sure that your listings are converting.
Okay. And you mentioned the quality score. So this quality score, how is this measure? Is it based on the length of your bullet points, the title, the keywords that you use? What are some of the main things you see that improving the quality score the fastest when doing these changes?
Yeah. So the content, like for example, the title, they have specific guidelines of what they want you to include in it. So they want you to put your brand name. They want you to put, if it's a 4-pack, they want you to include the color. And then, you're going to obviously want to always put your main keyword in there. But Walmart has a specific structure that they want you to follow for your title, and they don't want you to be keyword stuffing. They even have a whole article about like, do not keyword stuff.
Don't be Amazon.
Yeah, exactly. So on the title part, I sometimes will go over the allotted character amount just because in order to include all that, I have to. But also, on the main search page, they can see the whole title. So it's just, kind of helpful for conversion just so they can see the whole title. But as long as it's not stuffing. Now, then there's bullets that are about, maximum 80 characters. So that's very different. They're different. You really just want the main selling points in there, not stuffed with keywords.
No, how it cures cancer and all these huge stories they put in there.
Exactly. Exactly. And then the description on the main guide, they say, 150 words. However, in the categories I've been in, it's much lower. Like I can only do 138 characters for the description. Yeah, it's very short. So they really just want that information to help the consumer make a good choice. And you can add some keywords in there too. I would say the key features or like the bullet points basically are the places where you can focus on the keywords more and those selling points. But yeah, you really have to follow those like little concise things, and it'll flag you. And sometimes you can't even edit your listing if you have stuff so bad. Like you have to fix it before you can save it. So then there's attributes. So attributes are a really important part of this too. And so attributes are things like, the color and the size and all the different things. Material. And you can actually put more than one attribute in there. So if it's a color, like maybe it could be described in a few different ways. You want to put all of those different color names in there. So you can add, more attributes in there. So something else to kind of touch on when it comes to listing optimization and attributes, your attributes are going to be connected to your product type. So the product type is very, very important on Walmart. If you're in the wrong product type, you're not going to show up organically for the keywords that you want. So
it's like the categories on Amazon.
Exactly. But I would say a little bit more so because it's a little bit more forgiving on Amazon, whereas it's, so product type's really important because if you're in the wrong product type, you're going to get the wrong attributes and you're just not going to show up. So all of that goes all together for the listing, the content score piece.
Good. Okay. And I guess that's mainly the front face of the listing. But do you see right now in Walmart a lot that can be done in the back end, like in Amazon, all these tricks with flat files and all of that? Or it's still not there, Walmart? Yeah.
You can use flat files to upload for Walmart, but there aren't a lot of tricks with it at this point.
I
There's
see.
no back-end keywords or anything like that. The flat files are nice because it'll update your listing a lot quicker than if you just update it on the interface. So there's that. There's things that you can do with a flat file, like adding reduce tags and clearance tags. So those things can help optimize, but they're just not really tricks.
Like in Amazon.
So I know the flat files, you can do all kinds of stuff, but it's not as robust, I guess, as as the Amazon situation. But it's all mostly like front facing stuff. But,
Good. Okay. Now let's jump into the advertising side of things, which is basically what you're mentioning. That yes, a lot of people put the listing out there, and then the thing, it's gonna happen by itself, but it's not the case. So definitely, advertising it needs to be part of the equation. And I know advertising at the beginning, Walmart was very like primitive, and you couldn't do a lot of things. But over time, a lot of changes are coming. I even saw a post one of these days that they even including a like brand banners like you have also in Amazon. So can you touch on how the advertising Walmart looks like? Do you also have exact phrase and broad, or it's different, and all the basics there?
I'll kind of go from the beginning because I think a lot of people who started on Walmart maybe like a year ago, they haven't realized yet that the advertising platform has improved quite a bit. So about a year ago or in before, you could only advertise if you were in the top 128 spots organically. Okay. So And then if you advertise, you could only advertise up to the spot where you were ranked. So for example, if you were ranked 50, your ads would only show up at spot 50
Wow,
and,
that's strange,
and below. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was kind of frustrating, I think, for a lot of sellers, for especially more competitive areas.
Yeah.
So they've actually changed that, and it's more of a relevancy situation now. So you can get to the
Okay.
top of the search. And then before, you could only show up for organic or sponsored. So if you wanted to see where you were organically ranked, you'd have to turn off your ads. Now you can see both at the same time. So on our Helium 10 has a keyword tracker, and you used to only be able to see one or the other, but now you can see both at the same time. So it's really, really helpful. So there's that. So it's more of a relevancy. So that means before we were also focused on mostly just very generic keywords, but now you're starting to see more conversions on longer tail keywords. So that is changing. There's more of a relevancy situation. There is very similar to Amazon. You've got the exact, you've got your auto campaigns, you got your manual campaigns, the exact broad phrase. But I would just say that, your spend is going to be a lot less usually on Walmart, just because the traffic isn't as high as Amazon yet. So you'll notice that the spend maybe is a lot of times it's harder,
which
to
is good.
spend. It's good. Yeah. Unless you use auto campaigns. I don't really like the auto campaigns, but a lot of people do. So it really just depends on how you like to set things up. But I really like to do a lot of keyword research, set up exact campaigns, and those do really well. So I think that's what's worked for me. But other people really like the auto campaigns. There are sponsored brand ads, like you said. So if you're a registered brand, you've got your trademark, you can do those sponsored ads. And that was only available before to like 1P brands. So it's really exciting. It's changing.
Good,
You can't do negative targeting currently, but they say that's potentially next year. So there's the negative targeting.
It's difficult to optimize, I guess, then the automatics and all of that.
Yeah, exactly. So there's no negative targeting. And then I'm trying to think of other things that are.
I think one thing that people was bringing a lot, and maybe you can clarify on this, is that apparently if you put like a bid of $3 and nobody else is bidding like less than that, let's say there isn't a bid competition like in Amazon. If you put $3, you're gonna pay $3 per click. Is that true? Or
I'm glad you brought that up. That's another change that's happened. So before, like last year, if you were to bid $10 on something because you're like, oh, I really want to win this keyword, you would pay $10. So I know people who wasted thousands of dollars on Walmart ads because they didn't know this. However, it's changed now to a second price auction like Amazon. So if you bid $3 and the going rate is $1.50, you're going to pay $1.50. So it is much, much better. So there have been so many really good improvements. So I think that's why I think that it's a really good time to get on, because you're going to kind of grow with the platform and you'll establish yourself at the top. So, with these ads, they're improving it constantly. You're going to be kind of the expert in Walmart ads as you kind of grow with them. And I think it's definitely just a good opportunity. I've seen higher profitability on Walmart. So
interesting.
Yeah.
Good.
Oh, now, something else. I'll tell you something else. Something I just discovered is that if you are advertising on Walmart, you'll actually show up sometimes in Google Shopping. So those Google Shopping photos. You would never see that with Amazon. So you're literally at the top of the page for keywords that are really important.
And basically, if they click, they go to your listing.
Exactly. So that's something for everyone else to consider as well, is it's not necessarily just Walmart customers that are buying from you. It's also Google shoppers, Google people doing Google searches. So, they're finding your listing and going to Walmart. So that's a huge perk if you're advertising, that you'll start to show up in the Google Shopping. So
wow, that's a good one. Good nugget today.
Yeah.
Great. So now let's also touch on what type of products would make sense to sell on Walmart, because I know it's like it doesn't have as many categories as Amazon yet, and there's definitely some products that are gonna do better in Walmart compared to Amazon. So can you briefly touch on what are those niches and which one you recommend right now you're seeing the best growth? Yeah.
Well, the biggest category is going to be, I think most people probably know this, is grocery, because, there's people that do a lot of online shopping for grocery. So grocery is a big one, home goods, things that you can go on repurchase, household things that, are replenishable. That's a good one. People usually go back to, you buy the same kind of things for their household over and over again. But I wouldn't, I wouldn't necessarily not go on if you're not sure. You can always test it out. It's not really like, my products aren't necessarily something that's replenishable, or it's doing pretty well. So, I just think it's a good time to get on there. If you're an established seller, start seeing what you can do on there. And if it's not, selling as much, then you'll know. But I mean, I would say for sure, like niche products, like if you followed our Freedom Ticket Walmart, we did like snowboard wax, and that was just like barely any sales. But that's because it was also summertime. But I think, I don't know. It
depends for sure. Yeah, I think it's also because that customer behavior maybe still getting built up in the Walmart, so it takes time for sure to mature.
Yeah. So I can't say one way or the other, but you always try with your best sellers and see how it goes with those. Obviously it's up to the seller what they want to do, but I always recommend your top sellers, and then you're going to get a good idea.
Good. Okay. Now another good question I get asked a lot is reviews on Walmart. So how does it work? Reviews is right now. Can you incentivize review? Can you do rebates, all that kind of stuff, or is very strict right now? How does it work?
It's not strict. So you can do rebate type stuff, like rebate or rebate. I don't know if Rebate Key's still doing Walmart. Those where you do the coupons. Yeah, you can actually do those on Walmart. There's no penalties for that. You could even, I think you could even have your friends buy your product and review it, so it's just not up to speed like Amazon is, like where they started seeing, your friends reviewing your product and they block those. That's not the same on Walmart. So it's definitely, you can't email them or follow up about reviews. But,
it's like the early days of Amazon, which if you actually think about that, it's an opportunity because most of the huge brands right now on Amazon, the one that exited for millions of dollars, they were doing this kind of review in 2014, 2015 on Amazon. So right now it's restarting, but on Walmart.
Yep, exactly. Yeah.
Good. So, and let's also talk about Helium 10. Because Helium 10 is one of, if not the leader, when it comes to software solution for Walmart sellers as well now. And I would like to hear about what are some of the tools you guys have released for Walmart specifically, because I know for Amazon, you guys do everything already. But for Walmart, what is your specialty right now? Maybe if you can talk about some tools you are in the making.
Okay. So we have X-Ray for Walmart. So that's the Chrome extension tool where you can pull the sales data. So that's a big one. So X-Ray, and then it'll also give you listing quality scores for your competitors, or like ballpark. They're not exact, but they're pretty good indicators of the listing quality score. So you can see what you're up against. You can also see the percentage of WFS usage for each category, or for each keyword when you look at it on Walmart. And that's really helpful because the lower that number is, the less competition you're going to have, because if you put your products into WFS, you get some good ranking juice. So that's one of the key things I look at.
It's basically their prime for those hearings. It's like the FBA model kind of.
Exactly. Yeah. And then we also have Cerebro and Magnet for keyword research. So in Cerebro, you can do a reverse product ID. So you can find the product ID in the URLs on Walmart, or you can also find it on X-Ray. You can just copy it and paste it into Cerebro, and it's going to show you all the keywords that product is indexing for, and ranking for, and all the great information. So you can kind of steal the keywords. You can also sort and see where they're putting their sponsored ads. So you can sort by the sponsored rank. And I always like to take a look at where they're putting their sponsored ads. And then Magnet, you can search different key phrases, and you can find search volume on Walmart, and it's actually right next to Amazon, so you can compare the two. And then we have Keyword Tracker, which I love Keyword Tracker to keep track of your keyword rank for different keywords. So we've got that for Walmart. You can also do the boost function like you can on Amazon, where it checks it every hour for 8 days, I believe. Yeah, so 8 days. And then we have profits for Walmart,
Okay.
so you can get a good idea of your profitability on Walmart's. So let's see. I think those are the
main ones.
five. Yeah, the ones that I have there. We have some new ones coming in the next year, so stay tuned. We are
Good.
adding to our Walmart tools.
Very nice. Very nice. Okay. And just to clarify, when you are using these tools on Helium 10, and now when you find the competitors, it's like Amazon, you use asins or you say links, right? You basically use their link.
Product ID. So it's a
Okay.
number that's at the end of the link. So in the URL, you'll see like the last numbers. Yeah. Or if you pull X-ray, it'll say product ID and you can just copy it from there. It has a little copy button. You can copy the product ID from X-ray. That's always the easiest way to do it.
Okay. So. Awesome. And I think to conclude, I would like to touch just some, which I forgot to mention before, the images on Walmart. So
yeah.
Any tips for that? How many images you can use in the listing? And yes, some advice around that. Yeah.
You can use quite a few. I think it was like 15 was the limit. Obviously, they're not going to all show up on the main thing, but that's a huge. I think probably one of the main things that's going to help with your conversion is making sure that you convert somebody with just the images. So you're doing the infographics and all the selling points on your images, just like you would on Amazon. Because right below, if you scroll right down, there's all your competitors are sponsored ads right below you. They've got the buy box sponsored. So there's a lot of competition before you even get to the bullets. So you have to scroll through your competitors to get to the bullets. So I think the images are really important. You can also do rich media. So rich media is like A+ content.
I see.
And it's not all, they used to have it all available, but they took it away for a while and now they're slowly re-implementing it back. And it has things like video, 360 views. It has, a lot of really cool features, and you'll see it improve as time goes on. And you have to pay to host that somewhere else. So you
need to be a brand, or it can be just Spain.
You don't have to be a brand, but you do have to kind of find someone to host it. There's a few different agencies I know of, like Blue Rise, and then Cellcord. They host rich media if you do want to get rich media. So you just pay, I think, monthly for hosting.
I see.
So yeah, that's part of the images and the video to enhance that whole process.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's a good trick from Walmart to save on servers. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
It's basically make you pay.
Good for us.
Good. So yeah, I mean, I think all the tips were amazing. I mean, thank you very much for that. I would like to ask you if there's any last, gold nugget you would like to share or advice around Walmart, so we can conclude today's episode. Yeah.
I think just my main advice is just to take a little bit of time to learn what you need to do on Walmart, and I think you're just going to be ahead of the majority, because most people are just slapping up their listing, like I said before, and you can beat them by just being diligent and learning the platform and doing what Walmart says, and they will reward you with ranking by using their Walmart fulfillment services, by following their listing quality score guidelines, all of that. So just take a little bit of time, take a look at our videos. We've got Freedom Ticket for Helium 10 members, and then we also have Project W, which is free on YouTube. So check all that information out.
That's awesome. Yeah, thank you. And is there anywhere people maybe can reach out if they want to ask you any questions to you? Maybe social media, something? Yeah.
Yes, we do have a Walmart group. It's called Helium 10 Winning with Walmart.
Okay.
And it's just all Walmart group, and there's a few thousand people in there, and they're Walmart sellers of all levels. So it's a really good place to go in and learn. I go live every week, so I answer questions, and you can ask me any questions. We post different updates in there. So if you want to reach out to me, you can find me in that group, and I hope that you all will join that Walmart group.
Yeah, thank you very much, Carrie. So yeah, it's been a pleasure, and definitely looking forward to have you on future episodes. I'm sure Walmart is gonna do so many new things in the coming months and years, and this is just the beginning.
Yes, it really is just the beginning. It's exciting.
Yeah, so thank you, and have a nice one. Okay.
Thank you. You too. Bye.